This is it, the very first All-Ireland semi-final between Cork and Tipperary. Who will play Kilkenny on the first Sunday in September in the All-Ireland Hurling final? That's the aim, that's the target. Cork won the toss, they've decided to play from left to right. Here comes Lar Corbett with the first opportunity. Shane O'Neill intercepts rather easily, sends it along the surface over towards Stephen McDonnell, who in turn tries to find Lorcan McLaughlin. Christopher Joyce is there to lend assistance, drives it long. First attack of the match for Cork. Here comes Alan Cadigan. He's lit up the championship so far this year, 2013, and you can see why. After 36 seconds, it's Alan Cadigan and a point.
And then look at, we saw there the ball came straight in over the top. It should have been cut off, but Alan Cadigan has been brilliant for Cork this year, out in front, and that's a great start. His first major game at Croke Park, that'll settle him.
Mark Ellis. Good play by Cork, but the pass just went astray from Christopher Joyce, gathered by James Woodlock. 2 against 2 up here. Doing the hard work is Seamus Callanan. Rounding Shane O'Neill, sends it across to John O'Dwyer. That was the intention, but the plan just didn't quite come off. But great work by Callanan. Here comes Shane McGrath. And the ball comes first. Callanan again, hops it on the ground. He tries to make an angle. He's having a shot. Oh my word! What a brilliant goal! Callanan has delivered in the biggest stage of them all, an All-Ireland semi-final in Croke Park.
Absolutely great work here by Shane McGrath. He covered a lot of ground to pick up that ball and he crossed it, and Seamus Callanan has been very prominent. See Shane O'Neill drop the ball out of his hand. Lovely touch there by Callanan, and all that was on his mind was a goal straight into the top corner. Another, you know, that won't do Shane O'Neill's confidence, and he got to drop the ball. Here it comes again.
And it's Tipperary again as Cork look a little bit rattled. James Woodlock makes a little bit of space. He's having a go, and it's a good one. Seamus Callanan, a goal. James Woodlock, a point. Almost 7 minutes gone.
That's a great score by James Woodlock on the run from out the field. But again, I think Cork are doing an awful lot of short passing. Just watching in control, and he just buried it in the roof of the net. A fantastic finish.
Mark Ellis underneath it. Ball is available. Daniel Carney chinking away from Lar Corbett. Flicks it back. Steady as a rock, Cathal Barrett, under 21 player this year. It was very impressive in the Munster semi-final against Clare in Ennis at under 21 level. Shane McGrath sending it down towards John O'Dwyer, who looks dangerous. Noel McGrath laying it off as Bubbles O'Dwyer gets inside the cover, takes a shot, and that's over the bar. 1 point for James Woodlock, another one for John O'Dwyer, and that's a brilliant start by the Premier County.
It is, Martin. You have to say the Tipperary forwards look way sharper than the Cork forwards so far. Their movement is fantastic. Great ball in by.
Interesting ball for Callanan. He's underneath it. He gets a touch. Anthony Nash has to come off his line. No free given. Tipperary crowd might have been looking for one. Was Shane O'Neill fouling? I don't think so. Good play by Daniel Carney, giving it long. Carnedy is available. So too is Patrick Cronin. Has a shot from out the field, but it's wide of the target. Boys are on fire. The free is quickly taken. Bubbles does a little jig to the left, then hits it on the right, and Bubbles has scored his second point in Croke Park. It's a brilliant start by Tipperary.
Yeah, Martin, you can see the way Tipperary want to play. That free was quickly taken by Pádraig Maher. They just want to up the intensity, up the pace all the time. Another great score by John O'Dwyer, and Tipperary dominating this game.
It's a long time since Cork scored, over 10 minutes. Long ball, breaking ball, picked up by Aidan Walsh, and that is over the bar. A badly needed score by the Munster champions.
Yeah, and Aidan Walsh will need that. That's his first touch of the ball. I think good score, and Cork really needed a score now. He's been central. They've been trying to isolate him on Shane O'Neill, and it's been, you know, every time the ball has gone in, it's created havoc. So it's early stages.
Took out his aimed at Seamus Harnedy. Coming through the middle is Conor Lahan, being double marked at the moment by Tipperary. Ball into the centre is a good one. Here's Seamus Harnedy, point on the offering, and he takes it. Cork beginning to find their rhythm after a rather slow start. Good vision here
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely first touch by Harnedy as well. Lahan and Harnedy, great combination play, and again, a very good score. Start. Middle of the field on the sideline.
Of his 241, he scored 1 goal and 30 points from frees. This one has just gone to the left. Puck out, comes straight to Kieran Bergen. James Woodlock waiting for Shane McGrath to deliver a high ball, and it's Seamus Callanan bearing down and goal. Waiting, Lar Corbett, difficult angle, and he drives it left and wide. As far as Patrick Horgan, given a little bit of space on this occasion. He decides to have a go, which wasn't the...
Open things will happen for them. They're not showing for the ball. Great hook there by Daniel Carney. He's been very prominent since the game started, but they're just sort of going for the ball a little bit half-hearted. I think they're hoping to get a handy ball, and you won't get that out there today. And a couple of their shots so far have been very poor as well.
Cork forwards, this time marking the Tipperary defenders, so Darren Gleeson having to go long with his puck out. Here comes Aidan Walsh. Ball inside. Oh, just about getting there was Bill Cooper. But again, the finish is poor. Seamus Harnedy getting on a amount of breaking ball again, having a go from way out the field, and the end result is the same. They
go in there trying to protect Shane O'Neill as well, and here's the ball in.
Anthony Nash goes for the score, and that's over the bar. It's his second point of this championship journey.
Anthony Nash when he got the second chance.
And just before that, Cork had shot 4 wides in 3 minutes. Again, the short puck out strategy working for Tipperary. Paddy Stapleton made himself available for Darren Gleeson. Sunshine is the problem here. Easily gathered by Aidan Walsh. Sends it into the middle. Sweeping across again is Paddy Marr. Over for Shane McGrath. Long ball again. They're hovering, but they don't have to hover because it's straight over the crossbar. Excellent play by Tipperary.
Yeah, great ball out there by Pádraig Maher, and Shane McGrath right in the middle of the field. A beautiful strike, and Tipperary midfield, you know, I was saying...
Dark clouds overhead, and watching in the stand, Brian Cody. Who will it be? Cork or Tipperary? Here's Patrick Horgan, second free. Disappointing. That's not his best either. Comes from James Woodlock. It was Noel McGrath, by the way, taking the sideline cut. And Woodlock makes the space, cuts through the middle. Available to his right is Shane McGrath. He scored once. He's on the 45. He's going for it. And it's over the bar. Simple but effective. And good work by the 2 Tipperary midfielders. First Woodlock and then McGrath.
That's exactly what it was. You know, simple hurling. James Woodlock, good run, drew the man, and unselfishly threw the ball out to Shane McGrath. Standing there looking down on top of it, so poor call.
Anthony Nash takes the free. Is it his second point of the game? It is. The goalkeeper is doing his job, not just saving. Diagonal ball is aimed at Seamus Callanan. Stephen MacDonald gives it back to his goalkeeper, who gives it everything. High dropping ball. Down towards Patrick Cronin. Wins the 1-against-1 with James Barry. Flicks it out for his Conor Lahan. A point here would surely boost Cork belief, and indeed a huge, massive boost to their prospects. Conor Lahan, good score.
It was, and it was Route 1 hurling. A whoosh up the field from Anthony Nash, and a mighty catch by Pat Cronin, and that's a bit of hunger that we haven't seen from Cork so far. Fantastic.
Plenty of Cork defenders. The call is from Mark Ellis. The handling is poor. Comes fires Lar Corbett, steps inside. Lorcan McLaughlin still with him. Seamus Callanan hovering around the edge of the square. This is Callanan dropping it in, and it's an easy ball for Anthony Nash, who has the time and composure to spot and find Damien Callanan. Oh, great block down by John O'Dwyer. Callanan was giving it everything, and John O'Dwyer blocks and punishes and scores in a beautiful piece of hurling. And look at the reaction of the Tipperary manager, Eamon O'Shea.
Well, that's a great score by John O'Dwyer. He'd no right to get to that now. Damien Callanan should have had the ball cleared. He took far too much time on it. But, you know, Martin, some of the hurling, it's basic. You know, can now go on with this high ball every time.
Conor Lahan Splits the posts. Good play by Cork.
It was a lovely touchdown there, and Conor Lahan, look how quick he struck that ball, a beautiful score. And Cork, as I've said already, hanging in there with Tipperary having loads of the play. Here's Seamus Callan. Again, I didn't see a foul there. I thought Shane O'Neill was going for the ball.
Tony Marr gathers just inside his own 65. It's 2 against 2 here. Here comes Lahr. Oh, he left it behind him, and in comes Christopher Joyce. A rare mistake by Lahr Corbett, and Christopher Joyce in quickly to relieve the pressure, and Cork fans relieved. And again, it's a terrible waste of possession by Cork. 9-1.
They've been obviously the clearly more dominant team in the first half so far.
Patrick Horgan, third free of the match, first point of the game.
Of that first half, will they regret that by the end of the game? Gerard Nan, Eddie Brennan, Cyril Farrell have been enjoying that first half here with us. Eddie, you made a comment to me there a moment ago saying there's high-risk hurling being played by both teams here. Explain that to me.
Yeah, there's you'd have to say there's a lot of even stuff that you'd associate, no disrespect to junior hurling, lads standing up and trying to hit it, and at this level you do not get a second to breathe, and particularly out there today, it's that kind of a match. There's so much at stake, it's high intensity, but you'd have to say there was a lot of mistakes around the goal. I mean, one was punished very hard for Shane O'Neill, unfortunately, but there has been a few close calls on both sides as well. Tipper willing to play the ball out of defence here, and you'd have to say that Darren Gleeson is finding his men, but on a few occasions there would-be blocks have been very, very close, and if you get one of them in front of the goal, it could be the defining moment. But it's probably down to the occasion. You know, you'd say that both teams look a little bit nervous. A lot of the stuff is down the middle. Tip off to a flyer, and Cork have steadied up.
Ger, it's an absorbing game, but it is a kind of a strange game at the same time.
It is very, very strange, Michael, because first of all, it's not the shootout that we all expected. You know, that's completely.
Well, you guys said that's probably wouldn't happen.
Exactly. We were saying that wouldn't happen because that's so expected. Both teams almost playing with a sweeper, definitely a man back. I suppose Cork not an official sweeper, really. Daniel Carney going back into centre back, and Ellis then covering the space in front of goal. Now, I think Cork have made a massive boo-boo with our matchups, with O'Neill at full-back. We know the problems he had here last year against Shane O'Donnell when exposing his own inside. And Stephen McDonald, now their best full-back line defender, is out wing-back on Bubbles of the Wire. He started there. He has moved back now. But he started there. So that really weakened their full-back line. And Tip really attacked that full-back line.
Big time.
They really targeted that full-back line. And it paid huge dividends for them.
Well, they did. They got the goals, Earl.
Yeah, but even though attacked, and I know they got the goal early on, like this goal probably should, like, he's very good in there, Cannon, but like a lot of ball has been broken now as well. Shane Cannon here has to look up now. He's only one thing in mind. It'll flick across here, like beautiful ball across. You know, it's still not done. Shane McGrath, who's a great midfielder, he gets this ball, wins a hard ball. Now he goes up along the touchline here, has a look across and drills it across. Shane O'Neill comes to it and actually misses it. So it breaks to Cannon. Now I thought Cannon was going to come out tapped over the bar. There's only one thing he go for here, back at the net. He picks the only spot that's available. There's a lot.
He's the scoring man this summer.
McGrath has done a good bit of running, and O'Neill probably misses the ball.
And this is it, because if you're a full back or as a forward, there'd be lads cursing you saying, why aren't you up with the play? Shane O'Neill looks like it's going to be bread and butter, and he just lapses in concentration for a split second. And I know, because I've been that forward that stands out there and you get criticised for that. But you look at it here, when Callan gets it, he just looks up. Again, goalkeeper is blinded by his defenders. Lovely little area for Callan to aim at, and no better fella. It looks as if the chance has gone from him. I mean, when it broke first, but you'd have to say great composure and great confidence to bang that into the top.
Comes Bill Cooper, knocked away by Shane McGrath. In comes Gerard Ryan. McGrath calls for it. He looks, he's already scored twice, and this is going all the way. Wonderful play by Tipperary, and in particular Shane McGrath. He's a man very much on form.
Yeah, that's a great score from way out the field. Good work by Gerard Ryan, and before that we saw great control here by Bonner Maher, again headed for the goals and picked out Lahr, but great covering there by Mark Ellis. He covered back from the centre half-back position. And
high ball for Patrick Cronin. Sweeping up is Cathal Barrett. Good defending by the right corner back. Gets it out past Paddy Marr, about to be challenged by Bill Cooper. Still Paddy. Peerless man, cool under pressure. James Woodlock. And that is going straight between the posts. Between them, McGrath and Woodlock at midfield for Tipperary. They've now scored 5 points from play.
They have, and the prediction I made before the match was that the Cork midfield would dominate, but it's completely the opposite. I thought that Kearney and Walsh in the form they're in would dominate. Cathal Barrett is sweeping up very well. He's having a brilliant game for Tip.
Out of Tipperary's 1-9, 1 goal and 8 points come from play. And they're coming looking for scores. Again, over for his Bonamar. Damien Cahalane, it's Lar Corbett looking around for support. Available is Seamus Callanan going for his second point of the game. And it's over the bar again. They've often said in Tipperary that if the 6 Tipperary forwards ever clicked on a particular day, they would cause havoc for any opposition. It's pretty close to it at the moment. They're dominating so many areas.
Yeah, their interplay is fantastic. They're playing as a team.
Here with Harnedy into the centre to Aidan Walsh. Under pressure, it's dropping and it's going to the left and wide again. Second goal in the Munster hurling final is going to be introduced with Stephen Moylan as Cork acknowledge they're in trouble here. Paddy Maher steps away from the challenge. Bonamar is hovering, trying to get a ball back out for his Seamus Callanan. 3 against 2. Good play by Cork on this occasion from Mark Ellis. Gets it down for his Aidan Walsh, a little bit of space. Alan Cadigan showed well, beats Paddy Stapleton on this occasion. Cadigan fouled as he was going through, and that's a free from. So Alan Cadigan is going to be replaced. And coming on is Paddy O'Sullivan, younger brother of Dermot and Rocco Sullivan, of course. So he comes in, and also being introduced is Stephen Moylan from the Douglas Club. He's coming in instead of Patrick Cronin. So Cork changing 2 players in the full forward line, and hoping McGrath flicks it into the centre. Cork are backtracking. Lorcan McLaughlin is there. In comes Aidan Walsh. It comes through Bonamar. Oh, Callanan! Seamus Callanan with his second goal of the game. And Eamon O'Shea knows now there is a light in the tunnel and there's a place in the All-Ireland hurling final. Cork should have dealt with this. Bonamar, Gerard Ryan never gave up. It was Bonner that gave the pass over for Seamus Callanan, and Callanan let fly. Munster champions in trouble, deep trouble. Here comes Patrick Horgan. Great defending by Cathal Barrett. And the fray is for Tipperary. And Tipperary. Paddy Maher comes across to gather and calls. Excellent play. James Woodlock. Slipping one through. It's to Callanan. Here's the hat-trick. Oh, he just took his eye off it. He was about to pull the trigger, and he just took his eye off it momentarily, and Cork are relieved. The full-back problem for Cork has come back to haunt them. Here comes Kieran Bergen. Into the centre to Noel McGrath. From outside the 45-metre line, it's his first point in this All-Ireland semi-final.
At the moment as well.
Paddy Maher, captain of the Tipperary under-21 team back in 2010, they won the All-Ireland. The ball is swept down towards Bonamar, flicking one forward for his John O'Dwyer, and that's over the bar. It's his 4th point of the game. He really is impressive, all of them from play. And whatever vantage point you have in Croke Park, and if you're from Tipperary, you're pretty happy at the moment.
And it's Bonamar again, Marty. You know, he's just his ability to win ball and distribute it quickly. Great running by John O'Dwyer, 4 points from play, and he's having a fantastic season. Another great game for them.
16 minutes into the second half. Cork have only managed 1 point in this second period. Great run here by Lahan, and that is over the bar. And that statistic had to be changed rather rapidly. But it's still only Cork's 2nd point of the match in the second half.
Yeah, it's a brilliant score though. He picked it up a long way out the field and showed his pace.
Slither bobbles all the way for us. Seamus Callanan to John O'Dwyer. And they are some duet, these two boys. Callanan feeds O'Dwyer, and John bubbles O'Dwyer, gets his 5th point of the game.
And when you have a forward line willing to throw the ball around, it makes them very, very happy.
Over for Gerard Ryan. Long ball again for Seamus Callanan. Lar Corbett is available to his right. Callanan flicks it to a player that's available who is doing this for fun. It's John Bubbles O'Dwyer. 6 points the left half forward has scored. But again, it's Callanan flicking it up, feeding O'Dwyer. Point.
Yeah, but he's making it look so easy. Great work by Seamus Callanan, as you say. Could have been a goal the other end. Great interception here by James Barry. Kept his eye on the ball all the way. Eventually made its way up the field. Garrod Ryan moves that ball so quickly into Seamus Callanan. A great score.
Aidan Walsh. Again, they're blocking, they're hooking. Tipperary are working so hard. The road Ryan. Fantastic catch by Bonamar. And has the composure to spot Noel McGrath available. Swings it back across the face of the goal again. This is James Woodlock. Gets it at the second attempt. Woodlock getting by Daniel Carney. Still Woodlock uses the short grip and flicks it over the bar for his 3rd point of the game. The 2 Tipperary midfielders have now scored 3 points apiece.
Yeah, and I think that typifies the spirit of Tipperary. James Woodlock back from a series.
Lahan is there, so too is Rob O'Shea. Stephen Boylan. Nice ball inside for Conor Lahan. Goal must be on his mind. Here's the shot, and Darren Gleeson saves and deflects it over the bar for Conor Lahan's 4th point. But credit the Tipperary keeper with a fine save.
Yeah, Conor Lahan is, staying, trying. Great save by Darren Gleeson off the post and over the bar. Lahan really the only Cork forward now that's shown a bit of fight, and Tipperary have put this game, I think, outside the Cork streets at this stage.
Well, out of their 2 goals and 15 points, here's an interesting statistic. Tipperary have scored 2-14 from play, only 1 point from a free, and that scored by Seamus Callanan, who's now on a personal tally of 2-2 in this All-Ireland semi-final. James Barry. John O'Dwyer. Bonamar is outside him. John O'Dwyer this time went for the score, but when you've...
And the whole of Tipperary was down on top of the players, but they have regrouped and they've slowly built their confidence, and they're still not probably at full tilt, but what a very, very good performance today, and they will improve again, provided they get through now today, to improve again for the final.
Good work by Brendan Marr. Mark Ellis, fingertips, didn't hold on to it. Seamus Callanan does. And that's 2 goals and 3 points the full forward has scored. It showed that the Cork confidence is shattered.
It is. It's hard to believe how poor a performance this is from Cork. Really been, destroyed all over the field, and the Tipperary forwards are really doing what they like at this stage. Lovely score by Noel McGrath again.
It's his 2nd point of the game. He's had about 3 or 4 wides, but again, he's such a good hurler that he kept at it, and he knew eventually he'd find the range.
Yeah, I think, as I said, Bonamar was moved into the corner, Noel McGrath moved to centre forward, Lara out in the wing. They did their homework at half-time. They identified the weaknesses in the Cork defence, and they exploited them fully in the second half, and very impressive display by Tipperary.
Dennis Marr. Still Marr. Gathers. He has Noel McGrath available. Seamus Callanan is now directing traffic, telling him where he wanted the ball to be placed, and that is over the bar. Seamus Callanan has been a source of difficulty from Cork since about 3:30 this afternoon, and it hasn't changed.
Yeah, I think all year, Marty, since the start of this National League, decided this was going to be his year, and he's been fantastic all season and brilliant in every sector of the field, and you couldn't really say maybe outside of Conor Lahan, Lorcan McLaughlin did reasonably well. Outside of that, they've been hurled off the field.
Long ball from Bill Cooper. Goes down for his Conor Lahan. Laying it off for Stephen Moylan. There's a chance here for Rob O'Shea. Good Cork goal. It's a little bit of too little too late, but it still will give Cork a little bit of confidence. The substitutes combining here and ending with Rob O'Shea cracking the ball into the net.
Yeah, well worked goal, and brings the gap down to 10 points. Rob O'Shea, new player on the scene now, he took it very well, shortened up the grip there and flicked it inside the near post. And James Owens having a word with Tad Horgan.
Rob O'Shea. Nicely picked up by Jamie Collin. Putting it into the middle, Christopher Joyce. First touch just left him down. James Barry is there. One-handed gets it out for Dennis Marr. Cork have it again. Lorcan McLaughlin. It's goals, goals, goals now they need. And that's gone off Paddy here. Callahan to Rob O'Shea. Good work again by Brendan Marr. To John O'Dwyer. And as they say, Darren Gleeson produces a good save. Stapleton is there, comes back past Bill Cooper, flicks it back outside, there's a chance of another goal, and again Gleeson saves! Excellent goalkeeping by Darren Gleeson. Not once, but twice. Full marks for the Portrude goalkeeper. He's waited for his chance since 2008 when he was sub-goalkeeper to Brendan Cummins. But when they put in the Rasper, Gleeson saved not once, as I mentioned, but twice.
Yeah, he's been fantastic today. As you said, he's waited so long. He showed great resilience to stick in there for the Tipperary cause, with Brendan Cummins obviously dominating in the goals for so long. And he's made 3 fantastic saves, at least today. He's played very, very well. And his puckouts have been a huge feature of the game. The short puckouts, and Cork never really got the grips with that throughout the game.
Definitely one of the talking points is Darren Gleeson's puckouts. They were part of the Eamon O'Shea strategy, short puckouts, which worked all through this afternoon. It's going to be a Tipperary Kilkenny All-Ireland Hurling final on Sunday, September 7th. Seamus Callanan scored 2 goals and 4 points as Tipperary steamrolled the Munster champions with a massive scoreline from play of 2 goals and 17 points out of 218.